When Mega Man Legacy Collection was announced just prior to this year's E3, it was instantly divisive. Some fans were ecstatic about the news, feeling that any new Mega Man game announcement showed welcome signs of life for a beloved franchise that has recently fallen on hard times. But other, more cynical fans pointed to the existence of 2004's Mega Man Anniversary Collection as an indication that Legacy Collection, which contains fewer games, was just a cheap cash grab on Capcom's part. So, which is it? Well, let's go over the basics first. Legacy Collection includes Mega Man 1 through 6, which comprise the entirety of the Blue Bomber's 8-bit adventures on the NES. In addition to the 6 games, there is a WarioWare-esque challenge mode complete with online leaderboards, a ton of behind-the-scenes concept and production artwork to pour through, a comprehensive database of every character, enemy, and robot master in the first 6 games, and a music player in which you can listen to each game's soundtrack to your heart's content. That's quite a lot of stuff for $15, but that doesn't mean a whole lot if the classic games all that content is built around aren't faithful to the original NES versions. So let's get this out of the way right now. Mega Man 1 through 6 have never looked as good as they do here in Legacy Collection thanks to a pristine 1080p presentation, and the gameplay, music, and controls are all wildly faithful to the NES originals. Each game's little quirks, glitches, and slowdown are all recreated as well, down to the last pixel. In the weeks leading up to Legacy Collection's release, developer Digital Eclipse has made a big fuss about their so-called Eclipse engine, which has allowed them to actually rebuild these 6 classic games instead of simply emulating them. As it turns out, that makes a huge difference. While the emulated games in Mega Man Anniversary Collection were noticeably inferior to the original games in many ways, Legacy Collection recreates Mega Man 1 through 6 so perfectly that you're not going to find a more authentic experience anywhere else except the original NES cartridges. That alone is a big deal, especially because Legacy Collection is potentially many PS4 and Xbox One owners' first introduction to the Blue Bomber. These 6 games are celebrated as some of the best action platformers of the 8-bit era for a reason, and it's wonderful to see everything that makes these games great maintained so faithfully in Legacy Collection. And make no mistake, the games themselves certainly do stand the test of time. While the first Mega Man game hasn't aged quite as well as its 5 sequels, that merely means Mega Man 1 is a little less great than the others, and there simply isn't a weak link to be found in this collection. While it's true that all 6 of these games can be oppressively difficult for gamers who aren't used to the concept of Nintendo Hard, the ability to create a save state for each game whenever you want ensures that anyone can make it to the end with enough persistence. The overall package is enhanced by a smattering of options and accoutrements. You can choose to play each game in its original aspect ratio, or you can stretch the image in 2 different ways to suit your liking. There are also 3 different visual filters to play with, including one that convincingly recreates the experience of playing on an old CRT television, complete with scan lines and ghosting. Each game's controls are also completely customizable, and impressively, I experienced no input lag. Mega Man controls just as precisely as he did back on the NES, which is a big deal for platformers that demand pixel-perfect precision. Finally, Legacy Collection's interface is clean, simple, and exceedingly snappy. Each game loads very quickly, and you can instantly quit out of a game and dive into another one in a couple of seconds. The new challenge mode is where Mega Man veterans will likely be spending most of their time, and it's really a lot of fun. This mode includes around 50 WarioWare-style rapid-fire challenges that task players with completing small chunks of the games in quick succession. The basic challenges only focus on one game at a time, but the more advanced ones blend all 6 games together in interesting ways. For example, you might begin by fighting Proto Man in Mega Man 3, only to be whisked away to a portion of Gravity Man's stage in Mega Man 5, only to then find yourself dropped into Quick Man's infamous sequence of instant death lasers in Mega Man 2. These challenges are compelling enough on their own, but each one also has its own online leaderboard that ranks players by completion time, and I found it enormously fun to try and shave just one more second off of my runs and compete for a top spot. Replays are also supported, and downloading replays is painless and instantaneous, lending challenge mode a real community vibe where players can both compete and learn from one another. Rounding out the extra content in Legacy Collection is each game's museum and database. The museums feature a huge collection of production art, behind-the-scenes concept art, scans of magazine advertisements, and more. The databases reveal the statistics and special weapon vulnerability of every single regular enemy, robot master, and Wily Castle boss across all 6 games. In a special treat for longtime Mega Man fans, the previously Japan-only character and enemy profiles in the Rockman Complete Works games for PS1 have at last been fully localized into English for the Legacy Collection databases. Only the most hardcore fans will bother reading every single one, but it's great that Capcom took this opportunity to bring this content to English-speaking fans for the first time. Finally, there's a music player that provides instant access to each game's excellent soundtrack, though Mega Man 6's ending theme is mysteriously missing. The music player is actually pretty bare bones, and it would have been nice if you could utilize it while browsing the databases and museums, but at least it's there. I did unfortunately encounter a couple of minor issues while putting Legacy Collection through its paces. The most persistent one is the fact that the games themselves are noticeably quieter than the interface surrounding them, which meant I had to constantly adjust the volume on my sound system. I also found that the game's audio would occasionally sound scratchy and garbled upon starting it up, though the problem usually corrected itself within a few seconds. Last but certainly not least, Legacy Collection suddenly crashed on me once while I was playing Mega Man 3, causing me to lose quite a bit of unsaved progress. This only happened one time and everything was fine when I relaunched the game, so it seems to be a very rare issue. That said, it's definitely worth mentioning. Ultimately, between the stellar presentation of the 6 included games and the wealth of extra content surrounding those games, I really like Mega Man Legacy Collection, and it's most certainly not a cheap cash-in. It is every bit the historically authentic tribute to Mega Man's 8-bit era it was intended to be, and I can confidently say that whether you're a newcomer or a Mega Man veteran, there is no better way to experience Mega Man 1 through 6. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to GameXplain for more on Mega Man Legacy Collection and all things gaming.